Hello, hi, I'm Tim Fahey. I'm the teacher for the digital tools class at Montgomery College, and I'm demonstrating Screencast-O-Matic, which is part of the third-party screen recording software that we can actually use. I'm going to use this right now to demonstrate how you can actually have on-screen performance by you and also sharing your screen and demonstrating different objects here. So I'm going to go ahead and reduce my screen size here and just kind of go into, let's just say, Adobe InDesign. And so I'm just going to pick something at random here that I've been working on. This particular page is a flyer that I was doing for my brother's company, DanSources, and what we've done here is to lay out the software, lay out his flyer on the screen here. But I want to show the toolbar because this is important to show everything here, not just the brochure. So I'll put this in the screen area, and I'll kind of put this in alignment here so you can actually see. So as you can see in this particular page, you actually have, I'll go ahead and bring it to full view, a white background here, which is considered the page, and the pages are pretty much dictated on the number of pages that you have. So let me just see if I can show that real quick. Get this out of the way. Pages. This is shows how many pages. If you want to add more pages, you have to. You can actually click on this button to create a new page, or you can actually drag one of these down. So, but this kind of identifies the page you have. But anyway, the toolbars. This is the selection tool. This is what you need to move things around. And I just hit Command Z on the Mac to move things around. See, this is a box for text. This is a box for text. These are box for text. See, there's a little arrow here going to a point on the right. It says there's text that flows to the next page. You can see that this little box here is can be adjusted so that you can flow all the pages here. It's all very. This is an imported graphic. It's a you can show the link here up under the windows under links. It shows this is a DanSources logo. It's an AI file, which means Adobe Illustrator, and you can update that. You can relink it. You can go to the link, relink it from the libraries, which I'm not sure what that means, and then you can edit the original. So, for instance, if I wanted to just make the change to the original, it'll actually open up Adobe Illustrator. And let's suppose, usually you don't want to change logos as you go through, but this will give you an idea that this is the logo, and if you wanted to say, for instance, for the sake of argument, that you wanted to change the color on that, you can go to color like that and make that change. And so what would happen is if you close that, I don't want to say it, but it would actually automatically show up in here. So this particular page is, if I could show you on the page setup, is 8.5 by 11, but this happens to show the size in picas. And picas is a sizing that we have for the actual printing industry. So it's kind of an older version of sizing. 6 picas equals an inch. So we'll change the horizontal from picas to inches, so that we at least will know what we're dealing with. And I know that so now that we can look at the page setup, here it is again, 8.5 by 11. Usually, width by height, which is where it goes. Of course, you could change the orientation where it's slightly different, but you don't want to do that right now. You can actually put your margins in here. You can actually put your bleed slugs in here for the final effort, and you can have facing pages or single paging. So that's what we have here. The nice part about Adobe InDesign is that it's a platform that you bring stuff into, and it handles type very well. You can import the fonts that I generally use are pretty industry standard. I love Helvetica, because it's a very nice, clean, classic corporate face, and it's easy to work with. These are the light and then bold. So it says Helvetica Light, and then you get the bold here. And so I like it for that practical reason. And in layout and design, typically you try to minimize the number of fonts and also the sizing. You try to keep them proportional so that visually it's very pleasing. The way to export this as a PDF file, you would go to under the File menu, and I know you can't see this because it's off screen. Go to High Quality PDFs, and then you can actually save it as you want as a PDF file. You can also export it. Go to under the File menu, under the Export. You can export it to a PNG file, which is particularly good for graphics and that sort of thing. And then it gives you another number of other things. But for the most part, you just need PNGs and PDFs for the most part. We don't want to talk about EPUBs or anything like that right now. So just for purposes' sake, I'm going to quit this and see how it looks.